Welcome to Movie Review Mom. I'm the mom and I do the movie reviews. And it's about time we had a movie about a dog, right? So the movie I'm reviewing today is called Dog. This touching movie is currently in theaters. It's rated PG-13 and is an hour and 41 minutes. In a nutshell, congratulations, first of all, to Channing Tatum for his directorial debut. He teamed up with Reed Carolyn, who also co-wrote the screenplay. The story is about two former Army Rangers, and guess what? One of them is a dog. They're paired against their will to go on the road trip of a lifetime. A troubled Army Ranger, Channing Tatum, is a vet, and he's tasked with taking Lulu, who is a Belgian Malinois, down the Pacific coast to get to a fellow soldier's funeral on time. So there were plenty of things that I liked about the movie. First of all, women are in love with Channing Tatum and men want to be like him. So now toss in a very cute dog and you've got a great buddy combo road trip that will make you go, "Aw." He does a really great job and shows us some impressive range. I'm talking about Channing Tatum now, although the dog does too. Actually, the dog was played by several different dogs. One of my sons is in the Army, and so I always feel very connected to movies like this that illustrate Army life, Army vets, the sacrifices that our soldiers make and the trauma that they experience after doing their job. And that's the case with this movie. There's one scene where the Channing Tatum teaches this guy how to actually use a shoestring to kind of bicycle through zip ties and break them. And it actually is a thing. It's legit. I've done it many times. And you can't just use any shoestring like a cotton shoestring because that will definitely break. But if you use paracord, you've got your shoelaces tied with paracord for such an emergency, you actually can do it. So pay close attention in case you got to, escape from zip ties. I don't know, but it's actually a legit thing. It's pretty cool. And this scene is actually taking place with Kevin Nash. And I thought Kevin Nash was such a fun addition to this cast. And I loved him on the screen. He's not in the movie very much, but I just thought that the scenes that he was in were actually really good. It's really cool to see what these trained dogs can do. There's one scene where they're hunting for somebody that stole some of their stuff out of a car, and these dogs are tracking, and I won't give it away, but it's just fascinating to see really how skilled and trained they actually are. And dogs are truly special. Of course, that's nothing new, right? So what I want to know is, what dog breed do you have? And if you have a dog. We actually used to have a very sweet little black and white Papillon, but sadly he passed away last year and I cried for weeks. And so I don't know if my heart can take getting another one. We'll see. You get to see some beautiful West Coast ocean views and scenery as this road trip kind of begins in Portland and then works its way down. We don't really know what the final destination is, or maybe I just missed that. So you get to go on this little road trip on the West Coast. Kids are going to get a kick out of all the road trip shenanigans. And let me give you a list of some of the things that I didn't like or thought could have been done better. First of all, not all of the comedy lands. In fact, it kind of feels like the movie hasn't quite decided what it wants to be. The trailer, in fact, makes it look like it's going to be a comedy, but it is actually more of a drama peppered with some humor. And like I said, not all of the humor lands. But what is the result is that there's quite a bit of tone shifting. And in fact, sometimes the scenes veer off into another direction and you're like, whoa, where's this going? And then nothing will happen. And then it'll shift back and you're like, okay, now where are we going? And so it's a little bit frustrating to know who the target audience is because of that. Some of the dialogue is a bit weak. And of course, the whole time I'm wondering, why didn't he just get on an airplane and fly to the destination? I know we wouldn't have had a movie if that was what the case was, or if that had happened. But I thought, well, if he's kind of doing this errand for the military, shouldn't they have actually given him some money? He's got no money basically to fund this little road trip. Anyway, Act 3 flew by almost too quickly, and I would have loved to have seen a little bit more of that, it gets the job done for sure and ends with everybody going, oh. In that regard, it's a bit predictable. Let me give you some tips for parents in case you watch this with your kids. There is a saucy scene between a man and two women. Thankfully, all we see is a topless Channing Tatum. I mean, what's a Channing Tatum movie without seeing him topless? But nothing else happens. And so that's good. If you're watching it with your kids, you can fast forward. You will absolutely not miss anything that's crucial to the storyline. There are also two men who suck on drug-induced lollipops. A guy flips the bird. There is some profanity, and you watch a man kind of go through, well, not kind of, you watch a man go through drug withdrawal. And you may need to explain to your kids what's happening in that scene. There are some themes that are illustrated very well, such as redemption and healing, bonds, animals, respect, service to country, soldiers, Army Rangers, PTSD and mental health, and broken people and broken animals. And it's very heartwarming to see the relationship between this man and this dog and how it evolves and the lessons that they learn from each other. It's very sweet. Now, you can see the funny lines and interesting lines on my written review at moviereviewmom.com. I'll share one of them with you right now. It's one spoken by Channing Tatum, and he says, "No one owns Mother Earth." And he says that early on in the movie as they're talking about these animals who definitely served in the military. They are soldiers. And as they're talking about that relationship between animals and the planet and humans and all of that kind of stuff. Overall, I enjoyed it. There were some flaws. My overall movie review mom grade is a B+. Before we go, let me give you some recommendations for 3 other dog-related movies that I think that you'll enjoy. The first one I thought of is A Dog's Purpose. And there's a difference, obviously, between that movie because the dog speaks. It's narrated. You hear the dog's thoughts, whereas in this movie, it's a dog. You can read the dog's thoughts by the look on its face, which is very expressive, but it's more realistic. And then there's Marley and Me, which is also very, very sweet and touching. And then the last one I thought of when I was trying to think of like buddy dog human movies is an older movie with Tom Hanks called Turner and Hooch. I remember seeing that years ago, and it was just great fun and very sweet. And I think you definitely should see that one because it's just at the top of that dog buddy genre. I don't know if that's a genre. Anyway, that's it for my movie review. I hope if you watch this that you do enjoy it. And be sure and comment down below about your dog breed, what you thought of this movie. I really appreciate reading your comments, and it's so fun to meet all of you. Thank you so much for subscribing, and I really appreciate that as well. Spread the word, have people come on over and join us. Like the video, you know the drill. All of that helps to spread magical YouTube fairy dust all over my channel to help it to grow. All right, until the next movie review, bye for now.